If you're over 60, still drinking milk that promises strength, comfort, or nostalgia, then I need to warn you, because one of those milks might be quietly killing your erections. Yes, you heard me right. What you pour into your glass every morning could be choking off blood flow, shrinking your testosterone, and weakening the very part of your manhood you fought to preserve. And yet, nobody talks about it. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera. I've spent over 30 years helping older men fight fatigue, memory loss, joint pain, and yes, declining bedroom performance. And I can tell you this, the decline you feel isn't always age. Sometimes, it's something as ordinary as milk that's quietly turning your strength into struggle. The truth is, many seniors believe they're making healthy choices when they grab popular milks from the store, especially if the label says plant-based, fortified, or low-fat. But here's what you're not being told. Some of those milks are actually draining your energy, hurting your heart, and even increasing your risk of fractures, blood sugar crashes, and cognitive decline. That's why in this video, I'll reveal the 4 milks you should never drink after 60, and more importantly, the 4 powerful alternatives you should be using instead. These aren't just swaps. They're strategic upgrades that can protect your bones, improve your memory, reduce inflammation, and support strong, lasting erections, naturally. And stay with me, because the first milk we'll expose might be sitting in your fridge right now. Let's get started. Before we dive in, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell, so you never miss a health tip designed specifically for men over 60. And if this topic matters to you, or if you've ever wondered whether the milk you're drinking is helping or hurting your health, just type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0, and let me know how I can make these videos more helpful for you. So let's begin with the truth most men never hear from their doctor. The 4 milks you should never drink after 60. These are the everyday choices that seem harmless, even healthy. But inside your body, they're doing silent damage, weakening your heart, disrupting your hormones, and quietly robbing you of your strength, your energy, and your erections. Let's expose them, one by one. 1. Whole milk. The silent heartbreaker in your fridge. There's a reason this one hurts to talk about. Whole milk isn't just a beverage. For many of us, it's a memory. I remember mornings with my father. He'd pour a tall glass of whole milk next to his eggs, strong and steady, the way men were supposed to be. Back then, we believed whole milk meant strength, bones, and manhood. And maybe for a time, it did. But the truth we didn't know, what science now clearly shows, is that after age 60, whole milk becomes something very different, something dangerous. You see, as we get older, the body begins to change in quiet, subtle ways. Arteries stiffen, metabolism slows, testosterone dips, and the foods we once handled with ease now hit us harder than we realize. Whole milk is one of those foods. It's loaded with saturated fat, over 4.5 grams in a single cup. That may not sound like much, but to an aging heart, it's more than enough to quietly clog arteries, raise bad cholesterol, and strain your cardiovascular system. And let me be clear. When your arteries are clogged, it's not just your heart that suffers. Blood flow is everything. It fuels your brain, your muscles, and yes, your erections. When blood can't flow freely, it can't reach where it's needed most. That means slower, weaker, and shorter lasting performance, not just in the bedroom, but in everyday life. But there's more to this story. Whole milk isn't just hurting your circulation, it's also a weight trap. As your muscle mass naturally declines after 60, every extra calorie begins to count against you. Whole milk packs nearly 150 calories per glass. And if you're still having a few glasses a day out of habit, those calories add up on your waistline, your joints, and even your insulin levels. For seniors already managing blood sugar, whole milk can worsen insulin resistance and contribute to type 2 diabetes over time. And here's something many men don't realize. That daily glass of milk could be behind your digestive discomfort. After 60, a large percentage of adults develop some degree of lactose intolerance, even if they never had issues before. That gas, bloating, fatigue, or sluggish feeling after breakfast. It may not be your age, it may be the lactose. But because it's so familiar, so trusted, we rarely question it. I've had patients look me in the eye and say, "Doc, I don't eat junk. I just have my cereal and milk every morning like I always did." And I gently have to tell them, that habit might be stealing your strength, your energy, and your blood flow without you even realizing it. So what do? You start by asking the hard question. Is this really serving the man I am today? Or is it just a leftover habit from the man I used to be? Because after 60, strength doesn't come from nostalgia, it comes from knowledge. And now you know. But this next milk, it doesn't even try to pretend it's healthy. It's sweet, it's thick, and it's loaded with memories, but also with something far more dangerous. If you're using it in your coffee or desserts, you'll want to hear this. Let's talk about the sugar trap hiding in plain sight. 2. Sweetened condensed milk. The sugar bomb that robs your brain and bedroom. There's something about sweetened condensed milk that hits the heart before it hits the body. Maybe it reminds you of holidays with your grandkids, family recipes passed down from your mother, or that extra spoonful in your morning coffee on quiet days. I get it. I've seen it in my own family. That nostalgic sweetness brings comfort. It feels innocent. But what I need to tell you, what most men over 60 never hear, is that what feels comforting to your memories might be working against your body in the worst ways. Sweetened condensed milk is a sugar bomb in disguise. Just 1 tablespoon contains about 10 grams of added sugar. But no one uses just 1 tablespoon, do they? It's thick, rich, and addictive. That slow pour may seem small, but it hits your system like a freight train, spiking your blood sugar, overworking your pancreas, and setting the stage for insulin resistance. For men already close to the line with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, that quiet drizzle can do long-term damage you can't feel until it's too late. And here's something I want you to remember. Sugar doesn't just affect your waistline, it affects your brain. Studies now show that regular consumption of concentrated sugars like those found in sweetened condensed milk can accelerate cognitive decline. Researchers have even started calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes because of how strongly blood sugar impacts brain function. If you've ever felt that mental fog, forgot what you were about to say, or lost your train of thought mid-sentence, don't just chalk it up to age. There's a good chance your diet is clouding your clarity. But that's not all. Sugar, especially in this concentrated form, is a known driver of inflammation. And inflammation is one of the key enemies of male performance. It disrupts hormones. It damages blood vessels. It slows circulation. And yes, it contributes to erectile dysfunction. If you've noticed changes in your stamina, drive, or confidence, it might not be just part of getting older. It might be the sugar you thought was harmless. And let's not forget digestion. That heavy, syrupy texture slows down your gut, leaving you bloated, sluggish, and tired. It robs your energy, not just physically, but emotionally. I've seen too many men start shrinking inside themselves, feeling weak, dull, and disconnected, simply because the foods they loved were quietly draining the life out of them. I'm not here to take away joy. I'm here to help you take back control. Sweetened condensed milk may be tied to warm memories, but it has no place in a body that wants to stay sharp, strong, and sexually alive after 60. You deserve better fuel. And speaking of misleading comfort, the next milk we're about to expose wears a healthy label. It says plant-based, it says gentle, but beneath the surface, it hides a toxic secret that could be quietly weakening your bones and overworking your kidneys. Let's uncover the truth about rice milk. 3. Rice milk, the bone-weakening, kidney-harming imposter. There was a time I believed rice milk was one of the safest, gentlest options on the shelf. I had patients who switched to it proudly, thinking they were making a smart, healthy move. And honestly, I can't blame them. The label is clean, it's plant-based, it sounds harmless. In fact, it even sounds comforting, something light, smooth, and easy on the system. But what I've learned, and what I need you to know, is that rice milk might be one of the most misleading choices a man over 60 can make. Here's the hard truth. Rice milk is almost entirely made of processed white rice and water. That might sound simple enough, but it means you're getting a drink that's nearly void of nutrition. 1 cup contains less than a gram of protein, no healthy fats, and very few essential vitamins or minerals. And for older men, that's a problem. After 60, our bodies naturally begin to lose muscle mass. If we don't feed those muscles with enough protein every single day, we don't just lose strength, we lose stability, mobility, and confidence. But the damage doesn't stop at muscle loss. What most people don't know is that rice, by nature, absorbs a toxic element from the soil, arsenic. When concentrated into rice milk, that arsenic doesn't just disappear. It builds up slowly in your system, putting pressure on your kidneys and liver over time. I've seen blood work in patients who drank rice milk daily and watched their kidney markers rise, quietly, dangerously, and without symptoms. For men already dealing with high blood pressure or blood sugar issues, that's a double threat. And speaking of blood sugar, here's something most labels won't tell you. Rice milk has a very high glycemic index. That means it spikes your blood sugar quickly, almost like soda. If you're managing pre-diabetes or diabetes, and so many men over 60 are, whether they know it or not, these daily spikes throw your metabolism into chaos. You feel drained, irritable, maybe even a little foggy in the head. And when those sugar crashes hit, you reach for more food, more carbs, and the cycle continues. That's not aging, that's blood sugar whiplash from the wrong fuel. And let's not ignore digestion. Rice milk doesn't offer any fiber to support your gut. In fact, it can actually worsen bloating and sluggish digestion in some men, especially when sweetened varieties are involved. What you're left with is a milk that gives you almost none of what your body truly needs, and too much of what it can't handle. I always tell my patients, don't be fooled by soft colors and pretty packaging. Health isn't in the branding, it's in the biology. And rice milk? It's a hollow promise with real consequences. But if you think that was sneaky, wait until you hear what's next. There's one last milk that's marketed like a superfood, but it's hiding behind vanilla flavors, chocolate swirls, and health buzzwords. It's the most seductive of them all, and perhaps the most damaging. Let's pull back the curtain on flavored plant-based milks. 4. Flavored plant-based milks. The sweet sabotage in disguise. Over the years, I've watched the dairy aisle change dramatically. Once filled with cow's milk and cream, it's now lined with almond milk, oat milk, coconut milk, and soy milk in every flavor you can imagine. Vanilla, chocolate, hazelnut, and more. These plant-based options are often labeled with words like fortified, heart-healthy, or low-fat. And for seniors trying to make better choices, they seem like a smart switch. But here's what I tell my patients. Don't trust a label that tastes like dessert. Flavored plant-based milks may sound healthy, but many of them are quietly sabotaging your health from the inside out. The number one culprit? Sugar. Some of these milks contain 10 to 15 grams of added sugar per cup. That's as much as some sodas. And I'm not just talking about obvious names like sugar. These milks often hide sweeteners under labels like cane juice, agave, or even fruit concentrate. But your body treats it all the same. That excess sugar does more than just expand your waistline. It raises your blood sugar, stresses your pancreas, and promotes inflammation. And inflammation, especially chronic inflammation, is a direct threat to your energy, your testosterone levels, and your ability to maintain strong erections. I've seen it too often. Men struggling with performance and confidence, never realizing the flavored milk in their morning smoothie could be playing a quiet but consistent role. But sugar isn't the only concern. Many of these milks are thickened and stabilized with additives like gums, emulsifiers, and artificial flavors. These are used to mimic a creamy texture or enhance shelf life, but they can also disrupt your gut microbiome, irritate digestion, and interfere with hormone regulation. For men over 60, already facing a natural decline in digestive strength and hormone balance, these ingredients can be especially harmful. There's also the issue of synthetic vitamins. While fortified may sound like a plus, the truth is that some of these vitamins are added in forms that aren't well absorbed by aging bodies. You may think you're getting a dose of calcium or B12, but if your body can't use it, it's just marketing fluff. It may look good on the carton, but it's not helping where it matters. I remember speaking with a patient who proudly said, "I switched to chocolate almond milk. It's plant-based. That means it's good, right?" He was genuinely trying to do better, but what he didn't know was that his daily glass was flooding his system with sugar, additives, and hormone-disrupting compounds, while offering almost none of the nourishment he thought he was getting. This is the danger of food disguised as health. It's sweet, it's tempting, and it's silently pulling you further from the vitality and confidence you deserve. But here's the good news. Not all milk is the enemy. In fact, there are milks that do the opposite, milks that protect your heart, support your joints, fuel your brain, and even strengthen your erections naturally. And now, I want to show you exactly which ones to reach for. Let's talk about the 4 milks you should be drinking after 60 and why they might just change your life. 1. Fermented soy milk. Strength, balance, and brain fuel in a glass. There's something deeply powerful about making a decision to change, not because you're afraid of getting older, but because you're ready to get wiser. I've sat across from so many men who told me, "Doc, I don't want to just live longer. I want to feel stronger, think clearer, sleep better, and if I'm honest, I want to feel like a man again." That's where fermented soy milk enters the conversation. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Soy milk? That's not exactly what most men would call masculine. I thought the same once. But that was before I understood the difference between ordinary soy milk and what fermented soy milk can actually do for an aging body. This isn't just a substitute for dairy. This is fuel, real, functional, age-smart fuel. For your muscles, your memory, your digestion, and yes, your manhood. Let's start with protein. As you age, your body's natural ability to maintain muscle declines fast. Fermented soy milk contains complete protein, meaning it provides all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to preserve muscle mass and strength. I've had patients in their late 60s and early 70s start drinking a glass a day and report within weeks that they felt steadier on their feet, less fatigued, and more confident in their bodies again. But it doesn't stop at strength. Fermented soy milk is also rich in isoflavones, plant-based compounds that support hormonal balance and brain function. These compounds have been shown to protect memory, slow cognitive decline, and may even reduce your risk of Alzheimer's. And when your brain feels sharper, your world feels bigger. You remember names, you finish your thoughts, you feel in control again. And let's not forget digestion. This is where fermentation becomes the game changer. Fermentation makes soy milk easier to digest, more absorbable, and it even adds natural probiotics, the good bacteria your gut needs to function properly. For older adults dealing with gas, bloating, or inconsistent bowel movements, this gentle support can be a daily blessing. A glass of fermented soy milk in the morning, or even warm in the evening, can soothe your stomach and help your whole system operate with less strain. One of my patients once told me, "I didn't think anything could help me sleep better, but since switching to this, I'm sleeping through the night and waking up with energy I haven't felt in years." That's the power of something as simple and underrated as fermented soy milk. It may not come with flashy packaging or sugary flavors, but it delivers where it matters most. If you're looking for a real step forward, something that nourishes not just your body, but your daily experience of life, this is where you start. And if you think soy milk was surprising, wait until you hear about the next one. It's light, smooth, and often underestimated, but beneath its gentle taste is a brain-protecting, heart-strengthening powerhouse, especially if you choose the right kind. Let's take a closer look at unsweetened almond milk. 2. Unsweetened almond milk. Brain-boosting, heart-protecting simplicity. It's easy to overlook something as light as almond milk. It doesn't have the thickness of cow's milk or the bold richness of cream. It's quiet, subtle, almost too simple to be powerful. But sometimes, especially after 60, the simplest things carry the deepest impact. And unsweetened almond milk is a perfect example of that. I remember one patient in his mid-70s, a retired mechanic named Joe, telling me, "Doc, I don't need fancy, I need something that works." Joe had just switched from flavored oat milk to unsweetened almond milk. Within a few weeks, he noticed his energy was more steady, his blood pressure readings improved, And most importantly, he felt lighter, mentally and physically, and that's no coincidence. Unsweetened almond milk is a quiet powerhouse. First, it's completely free of cholesterol and very low in saturated fat, which is exactly what your heart needs to breathe easy. After 60, the heart doesn't recover like it used to. It needs clean, simple fuel, and almond milk provides just that. It's also rich in monounsaturated fats, the same healthy fats found in olive oil, known for lowering bad cholesterol and supporting circulation. Better blood flow means a stronger heart, and, for many men, better performance where it matters most. But what really sets almond milk apart, especially for aging men, is its vitamin E content. This potent antioxidant helps protect brain cells from oxidative stress. In simple terms, it keeps your brain sharper for longer. Research shows that vitamin E may help slow cognitive decline and support memory retention in older adults. So while almond milk may look unassuming, every glass is quietly defending your mind against the fog that too many men begin to accept as normal. Another thing I love about unsweetened almond milk, it has no added sugar, and that's critical. So many men over 60 are already dealing with blood sugar fluctuations, insulin resistance, or full-blown type 2 diabetes. When you choose almond milk without sweeteners, you're protecting your body from those daily spikes and crashes that can drain your energy, confuse your mood, and over time, damage your blood vessels. And let's not forget digestion. Unsweetened almond milk is incredibly gentle on the gut. For men who've dealt with bloating, discomfort, or mild lactose intolerance, it's a soothing alternative that won't leave you feeling heavy or gassy. It works beautifully in morning coffee, cereal, smoothies, or just cold in a glass. And with only 30 to 40 calories per cup, it's also a smart choice for managing weight without sacrificing satisfaction. It's simple, yes, but powerful. And in a world of overcomplicated health advice, sometimes going back to basics is the wisest move a man can make. Now, if you're someone who struggles with falling asleep or staying asleep, or if your bones feel weaker than they used to, you're going to want to hear this, because the next milk is warm, calming, and designed to support your rest, your digestion, and your skeletal strength. Let's talk about the hidden benefits of calcium-fortified oat milk. 3. Calcium-fortified oat milk. Comfort for bones and calm for sleep. Sometimes what we're really looking for, especially as we get older, is comfort. Not the kind that comes from indulgence, but the kind that gently supports us when we need it most. That's what calcium-fortified oat milk offers. It may not shout for attention on the grocery shelf, but it quietly delivers exactly what an aging body needs: strength, stability, and peace. I remember talking with a patient named Robert, a soft-spoken man in his late 60s. He told me his nights were restless. His knees ached when he stood up from bed, and he'd lie awake wondering if that dull ache meant something worse. "I'm not afraid of getting older," he said, "but I am afraid of losing my independence." That's a fear many men won't say out loud, but I've heard it often. And when we took a closer look at Robert's diet, I saw something missing. Enough calcium and vitamin D to support his bones, and enough calming nutrition to support his sleep. That's when I recommended oat milk, specifically fortified oat milk, as part of his evening routine. Calcium-fortified oat milk is incredibly rich in two critical nutrients: calcium and vitamin D. After 60, bone loss accelerates. That's not a theory, that's biology. And for men, brittle bones often don't show up until something breaks. A fractured hip or vertebra can change everything: your mobility, your confidence, your freedom. But by adding just 1 cup of fortified oat milk per day, you give your body the raw materials it needs to maintain bone density and reduce your risk of fractures. But the benefits go even further. Oat milk contains a powerful soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which binds to excess cholesterol and helps flush it from your system. That's especially helpful for men managing heart health or borderline cholesterol levels. It's not just soothing in taste, it's soothing to your entire cardiovascular system. And here's something many men never expect. Oat milk, especially when warmed at night, can actually help you sleep better. There's something in its smooth texture and gentle sweetness that signals the nervous system it's time to wind down. It doesn't knock you out, it settles you in. And for men struggling with nighttime restlessness or overactive thoughts, that quiet signal can be just enough to make a difference. Digestion also improves. Oat milk is naturally free from lactose and most irritants, making it a great choice for those who've dealt with dairy discomfort. It helps regulate bowel movements, reduce bloating, and ease morning sluggishness. Robert made the switch. A glass of warm oat milk about an hour before bed, every night. A month later, he told me, "I feel like I'm sleeping deeper, and in the morning, I don't feel as stiff." That's not a miracle. That's the power of giving your body what it's actually missing. And now, we come to the final milk, the one most men have never even heard of. It doesn't just protect your heart, brain, and joints. It fights inflammation from the inside out, supports hormonal balance, and may even help restore blood flow where you need it most. Let's talk about flax milk, the quiet champion for men over 60. 4. Flax milk, the omega-3 secret weapon for joints, brain, and erections. There's a certain quiet frustration I see in many older men. It's not just about energy loss or stiffer joints, it's the feeling of slipping away from the man they used to be. You don't say it out loud, but I see it in your questions, your hesitations. Why don't I feel as sharp as I used to? Why am I more tired? Why can't I perform the way I used to? These aren't small things. They matter deeply. And sometimes, the answer isn't another pill or a more complicated diet. Sometimes, it's as simple as choosing the right milk. That's where flax milk comes in. It may not be the most popular option on the shelf, but it is one of the most powerful, especially for men over 60. Flax milk is naturally rich in ALA omega-3 fatty acids, which play a vital role in reducing inflammation throughout the body. Chronic inflammation is a silent destroyer. It wears down your joints, slows your brain, stiffens your blood vessels, and even interferes with your hormonal health. But with a daily dose of flax milk, you're giving your body the anti-inflammatory support it needs to start healing, not just coping. I had a gentleman in his early 70s, Jim, come to me complaining of nagging joint pain and increasing mental fog. He didn't want to rely on pain meds, and he hated the way his energy dipped mid-morning. We added flax milk into his daily routine, just 1 cup in his cereal or smoothie. 3 weeks later, he came back and said, "Doc, I don't know what it is, but I feel a little clearer. My knees aren't barking at me like they used to." That's the kind of real, quiet change that makes a big difference in daily life. But here's what most men really want to know, and don't always ask, does it help in the bedroom? Yes, it can, because flax milk supports blood flow. When your arteries are more flexible and less inflamed, your circulation improves, not just to your brain and heart, but to your lower regions as well. Omega-3s have been linked to healthier testosterone levels and better vascular response, both essential for strong, lasting erections. And the benefits don't stop there. Flax milk is also fortified with calcium, vitamin D, and B12, all of which support energy, nerve health, and mood regulation. It's lactose-free, cholesterol-free, and extremely easy on the digestive system. No bloating, no sluggishness, just clean, plant-based nourishment that works with your body, not against it. For men who've been looking for a milk that doesn't just taste good but gives something back, this is it. Whether you stir it into coffee, blend it into a shake, or drink it straight, flax milk offers daily support in all the right areas: your mind, your movement, and your manhood. And now that you've seen the truth, what to avoid and what to choose, let's bring it all together. Because the final takeaway from this video might just be the simplest, most important health decision you make this year. Let's wrap this up with a clear next step, something you can start tomorrow morning. Conclusion: a new milk, a new life. As a doctor who spent over 3 decades walking alongside men in their 60s, 70s, even into their 80s, I've learned that the most powerful health decisions are rarely dramatic. They're not always about surgery or medication. Often, they're about the quiet choices: what you eat, how you move, and yes, what you pour into your glass each morning. Those small decisions, repeated daily, shape the man you are and the life you get to live. Today, we've uncovered a truth that's been hiding in plain sight. The wrong milk can silently damage your body in ways you may never connect until the signs show up in your joints, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your memory, or even your ability to function as a man. We exposed 4 of the worst offenders: whole milk with its artery-clogging fats, sweetened condensed milk with its brain-draining sugar, rice milk with its protein deficiency and arsenic load, and flavored plant-based milks with their hidden additives and hormone disruptors. These aren't small problems. They're quiet threats that can steal your strength over time without ever making a sound. But this isn't just a warning, it's a roadmap forward. You've also learned about 4 milks that don't just nourish, but heal. Fermented soy milk, with its complete protein and brain-boosting isoflavones. Unsweetened almond milk, light and clean, feeding your heart and sharpening your mind. Calcium-fortified oat milk, supporting your bones and calming your sleep. And flax milk, the omega-3 powerhouse that works from the inside out to restore your joints, improve circulation, and support your most vital functions as a man. You don't have to do everything at once. In fact, I encourage you to start with just one switch. Swap out one milk you know isn't serving you and replace it with one that gives your body real support. Do that for a week. See how you feel. Then build from there. Because change doesn't come from shame, it comes from awareness and a decision to do better with what you now know. I've had men tell me, "Doc, I didn't think a glass of milk could change anything." And then weeks later, they come back standing straighter, thinking clearer, and saying things like, "I didn't realize how heavy I'd been feeling until I finally felt light again." That's the beauty of this stage in life. You're not too old to change. You're just old enough to understand what matters. So here's what I'll leave you with. Every sip is a choice, and when you make that choice with intention, with wisdom, and with care for the body you've carried all these years, it adds up to stronger bones, sharper thinking, better sleep, deeper energy, and yes, greater confidence in every part of your life. Because growing older doesn't mean growing weaker, it means growing smarter, and that starts with what you choose to fuel the next chapter of your life. Now the decision is in your hands. What will you pour into your glass tomorrow morning? If this video helped you, even in a small way, please take a moment to click like. It lets me know this message mattered. Share it with a friend, a brother, or someone you care about who needs to hear it too. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Just type, "I'm making the switch," if you're ready to take that first step. And if you believe in this kind of honest, life-changing health advice for men over 60, consider supporting the channel. Your donation helps us reach more people, create more powerful content, and continue serving this community with heart and purpose. Thank you for being here, and for choosing to live wiser, stronger, and better.